Okay, day one. Let's start laying this out. I took everything out of the car, completely cleaned out, vacuumed. I'm gonna start right in that corner. I might have to pull this back seat and the cover here, the cover panel. But I might just leave whatever's going back this way, pigtail to this point, and I'll do the bulk of the work that has to be done inside the dash area. So we're gonna lay it out. I don't know if I can use the bulkhead fitting that's original to the car. What they have here is essentially it's a stand. I don't know if this bolt and this bolt hole are gonna line up with what I have in my car, so we're gonna find that out first and foremost. I think we'll be all right though, and then we're gonna start laying out wires and just stringing them where they have to go. I'm not gonna be doing any connections. I'm just getting routes done, home runs. I don't have a bench anymore. Everything was taken out of the car. We got the panel in. The armrest is screwed in. I screwed it in from below. I glued in the ShamWow because I had staples below this and it was scratching everything up. So I want a little bit of coverage just in case something breaks freehand, gets loose. I won't really gaff it up too much because I got essentially the extra heavy felt fabric there. So that's all set. And that's just a side project. Now we're going to concentrate on getting that in place, and we'll bring it along. Alright, peace, stay tuned. Alright, I have the harness in the car. I brought the old harness with me. I don't know if I can get in there and zoom in there with that light. You see that square opening? And then there's the two holes kind of on a diagonal. There's one and there's the other one in the right hand corner, right up there. Alright, essentially, it looks like they already set this up to fit that. The problem I'm having is my screws that held the old one into place aren't long enough. Definitely not long enough. They're like 3/8 of an inch too short. So I don't know if I'm going to lop off 3/8 of an inch off this little stand here. Even a 1/4 inch. If I can lop off a 1/4 inch here, it still gives me enough here to fold the wires over and back. But it looks like they have that distance there because there's a ton of wiring here, and I don't want to pinch anything or pull it out or break it. So I'm kind of debating whether I should go and find kind of machine screw. It's not a machine screw, it's just essentially a screw with a hex head on it. If I can find this screw a 1/2 inch longer, I'll use it, because this is the old one and that's how it fit. So it's not quite as long, and I measured on the diagonal center of this hole to center of this one is 4 3/8, which is exactly what the new one is. So it's going to fit in that hole. It's just the whole thing is the screws. I don't think I should cut off anything off of this. I think they've allotted that. I mean, they give that for clearance. So right out of the gate, I'm kind of at a kibosh. So now I got to stop and I got to go find screws and not break that thing. Find screws with this thread pitch, only longer. So I'm in the hunt for that. And Bubba bit me already. I don't know why. I'm trying to finish him, but apparently he's not happy with me. So, and since I got, you know, little, we'll call it follically challenged. I'm not bald, I'm just too tall for my own hair. So it's all underneath my scalp. And apparently he dug in and decided to cultivate. I don't know, maybe his way of growing hair is different from mine. Alright, so we're going to look in this pile of screws and hopefully we can find something, dig something up. If not, I got to go out and get something. So maybe go to Home Depot or something, try to get something similar to this. Alright, there's that. See you in a bit. Alright, I gotta go take a trip to Home Depot. Unfortunately, they did not have hex head. They had hex head, but it was exactly what I have here, 2 inches. So they had number 10 sheet metal screw with a Phillips head. So I'm going to use that. It is what it is. Matter of fact, I bought number 8s and number 10s because I wasn't quite sure the screw. They have a little thing there, a little and find what size you're trying to work with. And the one that came off the car didn't quite fit the 10, well, it did fit the 10 slot too easily, and it was a little snug on the 8, but I bought 2 sizes just to see how it goes. I'm just going to try it now. What I have to do is I have to establish on these coils, it tells you do not, I repeat, do not cut these wire ties here. They do not want you to cut those. They want this all to remain pretty much where it is. What they want you to cut is, you have to find out in the labeling, in the wiring, and my vision is as sharp as my intellect. It's saying dome light. I think this is left back up. Alright, so this is the rear. This is gonna go, they want you to unspool this and just kind of lay it out towards the back. And then this next big one right here, this big guy right here is the front. So they want you to lay that out, and then everything else is dashboard and column. So I have to cut this and spool this out and kind of feed it through. They tell you to use an 1.25 inch hole, which I do have right there. That's a big one, and they give you a grommet, but I didn't find it, so I don't know what the deal is. But that's that. So we're gonna mount this now. Probably cut the wiring on the wire straps on this, the wire ties. Try to pull that into the engine bay. Cut this too, and just kind of set it back here. And maybe retie it so it's not going wild and crazy. So that is established as the back. This one is the front. This obviously is the steering column, and that's this one right here, and that one is all under dash and stuff. So alright, when I bring it back, I'll probably have this thing mounted, and we'll probably have this loop somewhat out into the engine bay. So, but I have to read these and pull them out accordingly. You just can't go wild, which I want to go wild, but I can't. So alright, see you in a bit. Alright, as you can see, I have the fuse box mounted, and to an extent I have them routed. I actually have to tuck this behind here a little bit more. This is all preliminary. This is just to get it over and across. The only place I could find viable and kind of like accessible was over the top of this bracket that holds the steering column in place, because I didn't want to come below, because you got all the brake pedal and stuff and you have moving parts here. I don't want to try to pinch any wires, so what I'm doing is I'm trying to find a route that is essentially stable. And suffice to say, this was not easy to get that from here over the top. This whole loom was pretty difficult. What I had to do is I had to zip tie everything in a bundle and then feed from left to right, and as I come across the top of that hump, I had to cut the zip tie and pull it through until I get to the next zip tie. And I did that the whole way. As you can see, there's all pots of zip ties all over the place. So now I have that hole right there. That is my access hole for all this. This all has to go through that hole. And I may or may not drill another hole, put another grommet in, because it seems like an exorbitant amount of wire to go through that 1 inch, little 1.25 inch hole. It's an 1.25 inch hole is what they want you to drill to accommodate the grommet. So it's actually smaller than that. It's probably about 1 inch. So now, as you can see, the daylight is dwindling and I'm tired and I'm not going to be doing any more tonight. So this will be the first part of the series. We have fuse panel mounted. We had a hiccup with the screws, but we got that sorted out. The number 10s did work, the 3-inch number 10s. So now all I have to do is just kind of stuff this in through that hole and just fan it out over the middle of the engine bay. And then from that point, I will actually just start to alternate where things have to go. Now I'm going to take the second big loop on the next series and we're going to unravel that, and we're going to run it right along here. behind up over the fender well into the trunk, and then leave that long. And once those two things are established, then I will bring the steering column and the dash stuff into this section here. So this is Mark from the second gen. Like I say, I'm not an electrician. They say in the easy wiring thing, don't be intimidated by all that wiring. Well, let me tell you something. A lot of patience. You have to have a lot of patience. Don't get aggravated, because it won't help you. So, other than that, they got the directions, they got schematics here. So when I get to that point, then I'll start looking into it. They actually have the alternator. You can actually charge off the solenoid, which is I have to run a wire down to that. They actually have comments so you can actually do things in order. They have GM headlight diagram, dash ignition, Mopar, Ford, and GM. So we have everything here. It just takes time. You got to be really diligent and not get aggravated and yank on wires and stuff, and do it a section at a time. So I'm done. I'm not going to pursue this any further. I'm not going to try to force myself to get more done. I have time, and that's it. So we'll get the first step done. Maybe as I go, maybe I'll hit the camera on and show me trying to. But essentially, I'm just laying on my back through here. My feet are up on the seats, and my head's stuffed underneath that section of the dash. So there's really not much to see. There's really no room for a camera. But we'll see how it goes. All right, guys. Be well, be safe. See you on the next one, and